Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program. Let's pick up where we were, which, if memory serves, we were just going to bite the bullet and go for orbit. But we're doing it in an incremental sort of brute force, right angle kind of methodology. We're not trying to make the most efficient turnover. I'm just going to punch straight up and get our 70,000, and then we're going to punch straight across and get our acceleration. Probably the least efficient way to do it, but the easiest to comprehend, especially with the low tech that we have. We don't even have the big boosters past this. Okay, so we didn't make it far enough. What we're going to do is we're going to plonk another booster on the back of this. Now this could get us into all sorts of trouble with wind resistance and so on, but we'll see how we go. That should be good. So what might happen is we're going to sort of start seeing red flames licking, and you know, that's sort of just before we get probably instrumentation damage, which we really don't want. So let's turn on the SAS, fire it up. So we may end up having to throttle perhaps the second stage because that's going to be at higher atmosphere. We'll see. We'll see. Off we go. I could probably take readings actually. Well, I wasn't planning on landing. So we're just starting to get out of this atmosphere now. Yeah. Now it's just going red right when it's running out. Interesting. Well, according to this, that's probably enough to hit the apoapsis, whatever the fuck. Yeah, 70 plus change. It's not bad, actually. That's not bad. So what's going to happen here is we're going to let it drift all the way up to the top. Now we're going for orbit here. You can sort of point towards that. All right. And as she closes, that's zoomed in as much as possible. We're going to want to throttle at the top. Now, this is only a little fuel tank. There's a good chance that we, well, I don't think I've actually staged. I haven't staged the rocket yet. Were we doing a test? We were altitude. Let's not worry about that. I might have to go here to stage that. So now it's on. But steering it here might be easier because we can see the peak. We don't have like time to reach. I think that's a tracking station consideration. That could come in very helpful. But hey, we can just eyeball this for the moment, I guess. You can see the sort of horizon coming down. Now, not our velocity vector is nothing, right? It's 200 meters per second. Let's go. And you can already see it folding out. We're pushing our apoaps up because it's not a straight sort of vector. I wonder what happens if I just fire directly at that normal sort of thing, or the horizon line. It's not bad. So we got up to about 680 and we want 2,000, right? And we were probably doing 200 as well. So I suspect we're probably going to need a shitload more fuel to make that happen. Let's see. Let's revert flight to the VAB, because same story goes, having a booster section to throw away, and then it's less weight that we can just sort of fire and forget. It's like a big old fuel injection. Probably not a bad idea. So let's just put a little booster in there and see what we can do with that. Now that's going to add a lot more weight. Now maybe we'll struggle to hit our 70,000, but that's sort of part and parcel. Now this is all out of bloody sequence, isn't it? Right, that. Let's separate these boosters for starters. See, look, this ring's all the way up here. Alright, so that's gonna fire. That's gonna fire. That's gonna fire. Well, now let's just decouple it. Fire that on its own once we align. Get rid of it. Alright, let's do that. And see how that goes. Okay. Off we go. Strange. Feels like an audio glitch. I'm just getting the audio straight out of one ear. Oh, that's a bit better. Now it's drifting over. Again, I'm trying to be hands-off as much as possible, right? Sort of in the name of the experiment. But you can see it is starting to have wiggle. It's starting to have a little bit of a hard time staying aerodynamically stable because we're just making it longer, but we're not really putting any supporting fins or anything on it. Now, where did that get us? Look at that. 39,000. Made a bit of a difference, didn't it? So what are we going to do about that? Well, vehicle assembly. Let's try just putting another thumper on it. That should behave. There we go. Oh, goodness me. You can see just adding that one little thumper made a bit of a difference. Alright, off we go. Or whatever it is, the little baby booster in here. Now something else we could potentially do, because, you know, we're having a hard time getting going. Even though this thing's thrusting as hard as it possibly can. I haven't checked the thrust to weight ratio, but it's probably not fantastic. What we could do is make a ring of rockets around the bottom. Try and get us out of this early stage faster. For the moment, I'm happy just doing it this way. See if we can do it. Brute force pencil launch, you know? Alright, we're just crossing out now. $30 kilometers. See, it's starting to really go now. 50, 60. 60's not gonna quite cut it. However, I don't know. Let's give it a go. Because if we fire from a little bit further back, we might actually be able to push that out. Right. What if we do something like still need 10 kilometers. I wonder if firing at 45 will do it. Let's see. So we're gonna dump the disposable booster when the guide crosses there and see what bloody happens, eh? Here we go. Oh fuck, I'm in the wrong screen. 4, 5, 8. Oh, look at that. Not bad. Let's get rid of that. We'll stage that. Ooh, it's dangerously close. 1,000 this time. But you see, it's all starting to come together. So ideally, I would have rather have spent that booster helping flatten that out. Revert flight. Revert to VAB. What did we need? Like an extra 10 kilometers? Something like that? It's hard to really tell, even especially when I'm doing such sort of guesswork. Let's just put a little baby booster on the end. See how that goes. Alright. It's getting very tall. It's going to start having too many parts for the basic launch pad as well. At this rate. Oh, look at this. We barely have the thrust to weight to handle it. Oh no. Alright, let's oh man, okay. So problem, let's pull this up, right? And you can see that our thruster weight is just under 1 there, alright? And you can see the thrust that it does in air is about 160 kilonewtons, and this one does around about 200. Right, so that's just not going to cut it. Let's chuck the big boy on the end. 1.3 will do it. Now you can see here 2.43. That's pretty intense. Some of these thrusts. What we can do is actually throttle them. We can curb the thrust well to actually manage the thrust to weight ratio. I suppose there's an argument for having a set thrust to weight ratio throughout the ship. Actually, you know what we might even do? Because let's delete that straight off, right? Since now we're talking about it, we're sort of just playing around with it. This is the rocket we launched before, pretty much intact. Bottom's got a thrust to weight of 1.3, right? And what we might do is adjust this thrust limiter. There you go, that's around about 1.3 on that stage. Let's just see what happens. 1.8. 1.2, let's bump it up to 55 thrust. 1.3-ish, now that's obviously going to change as it runs out of fuel. I know I'm just doing rough. And then this thing up here, I mean, when it's in when there's no atmosphere and no drag, I don't really know if it really matters that much. If I can keep it straight, who cares if it's got a thruster weight of 4 or whatever, right? But let's give this a launch. I mean, you know what? I might even put a limit on that. Bring it down 1.8 or something. So we'll just have a slower, well, a longer burn that's less savage. Probably easy to control. All right, so all we've done is just adjusted the thrust limiters on all the stages. And we'll see how that comes out the other end, basically. So there should be much longer burn time, which, you know, we're going to spend more time in atmosphere. We didn't change any of the weight. But it'd be curious to see, because we got up to, it was pretty much 60 even, wasn't it? Was kind of where we were at, right? So yeah, it starts getting outside of my expertise. I haven't really thought too hard about drag equations or anything like that. But arguably, the harder that you go into the atmosphere, the bigger the reactionary drag force you will be generating, right? So you're creating more forces to overcome. So that's not a good thing, but you're potentially trying to offset it by spending less time in that layer of atmosphere. So I suppose there's probably an efficient thing in the between, but to me that's the broad strokes theory, right? Is balancing the idea of just trying to punch through inefficiently to get out of the thick atmosphere versus taking your time a little bit more but trying to keep the drag reaction down. Interestingly, we're getting up 36, 37. And there we are, a whole 20 kilometers short. There you go, side by side, essentially. Without the limiters, we went to 60 here. So, at least my empirical evidence, which is limited, it's 2 experiments, is to flog this fucker as hard as you possibly can. Now, do we have any sort of aerodynamic stuff? We do have these cones. Because we could just lean into... Now, let's reset these limiters. Alright, let's embrace this. When do we limit from now on? Well, when the ship's going to take damage. Decided. Until then, if we're in atmosphere, I want to punch my way out. So what can we do here? How can we add a bit more oomph? I suppose we could just do what we were originally going to do, which was add stage on the bottom. We'll just keep it pencil. And that had it about a 1.3 or something as well. Oh, barely 1.06. Let's... that's... Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So what we'll do is... Do we have radial decouplers? We do. Now, are we going to be able to... If we just do 2 of them, how badly is this going to react? It's not going to like it. Look at my little dick and balls spaceship. And it actually makes a world of difference putting a nose cone on these. My little testes. Now, we could put them all as part of the same stage, potentially. Interesting, hang on. What if we forego the connectors altogether? And we just straight up do that. Alright, put this all in the same stage. Probably not the disconnector. Now, what's going on here? Nope, hang on. I've made a mistake somewhere here. 1. What the fuck is going on here? How did all this shit end up in... Oh, right, okay, yep. Got a stage down here. Okay, so that's one stage there. Alright. Then this. And that. This and that. Okay, cool, finally. So what's our thruster weight in the first stage now? 2.6. This next one's 1.7. Okay, still some pretty intense stuff. Let's give that a go, see what happens. Now, we did previously, well, if it doesn't fall over, because we're starting to really aerodynamically challenge this design. Can't support a vessel heavier than 18 ton. How much was it? 22 ton. How much is this thing? 1.5. Oh, that's not enough. Bugger, that is frustrating. What we might do... Let's see, because I'm not done yet with this design. $21 ton, we're just over. Let's see what happens if we stack the first stage a bit, you know? That definitely is under. Because we got a long way with less previously. All right, that. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Because yeah, I can pay to upgrade the launch pad, but there's something kind of compelling about making a smaller design. Oh, it's holding steady for the moment, so that's cool. Look at us go now. Tall. Come on, Resistance, give me everything you've got. Oh, look at that. Holy hell, we are going for it though. First stage is going to get us through that atmosphere. Yeah, now that's too much. If we start taking instrumentation, oh look, it's drifting hard too. Oh, I'm not taking damage yet, though. Look at that app. Oh, well, there we go. Let's just pause there before it blows up. Apoapsis, 157. Oh my god! So I think we did it. Revert to VAB. Okay, well that's cool. So maybe a little squat ship is the way to go, you know? That's really interesting. So we really don't need that second stage to be as bloody intense as it is. Let's see if we can get away with putting like a smaller booster in there. Just really compact. And you know what? I'm even gonna 50% its limit. Where's it at anyway? 1.8. Let's try that. Let's try that. This is cool, making a little baby rocket. Little chode, just front end heavy nut. I don't know what it might as well call it, the heavy nut. Yeah, look at that. Let's go. Let's go. Apoapsis, oh my god. See, it's going even faster because it has so much less weight. Still accelerating. And at what's that, 100? Hang on, what the hell is going on here? Let's revert this again. Revert to VAB. Man, I'm just gonna keep fiddling with this. Let's put that limiter down to like 20. What's your thrust to weight there? It's less than 1, which is probably a big no-no. Let's say 20, let's go 25. It's just under 1. Oh, I'm curious now. I'm really curious because, again, I'm no expert. A lot of this is fumbling through it. But looks like we're getting somewhere with not a lot, which is pretty cool. I don't know if we could make this stage punch much harder because look how, you know, maybe we could try and get the first stage to get us to red. Wait, that actually is happening. What am I talking about? Oh, it's rolling over. It's rolling over a bit. Alright, so we're losing speed. Apoapsis is over. Hang on, it's over already. What if I were to just have one early boost stage? Is that going to work? Right? Oh, hang on. That's gonna shit a brick. That's really gonna crack the sads. Right? Because we took off even more weight just then. So, I mean, we might even blow it up in the first stage. Look how small she's gotten. Oh, stop rolling. Oh! 120. It's too much. Revert flight. Revert to VAB. How could we pare this back even more? Now the thing is, if we take one of these boosters out of the equation, that could create problems. Let's see how bare bones we can go. See if 2 will do it. Oop. Get your balls out of my face. That is not what I would call aerodynamically sound. Let's see what happens. No way. No way this works after all this bullshit. It's wiggled a little at the beginning. Go, baby, go. Yeah, see, that's not quite enough. Oh! 65. And it'll slow because it's still going to keep going through. That's nuts. That's almost enough. Okay, so revert flight, VAB. I'm enjoying this trial and error. Here's the thing. We're likely going to need more fuel on this. So let's start with adding that. Unless, of course, my booster maneuver thing works. Right, we'll do like that. However, that's not going to be enough to get us there. So what we'll actually do is we'll go 3-way symmetry. However, we may need to throttle that. Alright. We may need to throttle that. Is that crooked? Ah, they're crooked. I find this a bit fiddly. That's better. That's better. Alright, let's just try it. We did add the extra weight. Here we go, here we go. Oh! Just under 70. Fucking hell. Instrumentation's intact. That was spicy. We're just under. That's alright. We can work with that. Now vector's coming down to about 500. Or velocity, sorry. Let's get it over 70. Not bad. Not bad. Nearly got there. Nearly got there with that tiny little rocket. That's so good. Revert flight. Revert to VOB. So the interesting thing, the big takeaway is the straight up vector, which we didn't really talk too much about, is acting as a delivery system to create the rotational vector, which we need to get up to 2,000 meters per second. We nearly did it, right? But essentially, as we add more fuel to it, it's putting like an exponential amount of strain on these earlier booster stages just to get that fuel up there, right? Just to carry that extra weight, you know, because it's not just adding an extra couple of kilos or couple of ton or whatever, it's also adding a couple of ton that we have to push through all the layers of atmosphere. It's actually incredibly force intensive that it's creating that situation. Yet another reason why it'd be much more efficient to sort of turn over. I want to keep going with this anyway, but it should be interesting now that we know how much we can just stack the early boost and just push it up as hard as possible. Has such a great effect as it almost decelerates after the boost but through the thinner atmosphere. So what we'll probably do is just add some more fuel on. We might get rid of the booster altogether, just add some more liquid fuel, just keep this whole stage sort of its own thing, and then we might just keep stacking even more radial boosters depending. Yeah, cool. Anyway team, thanks again for joining me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.